Hello, friends. I invite you to rise in body and our spirit, and let's sing together a morning song out of the great hymnal, hymn number 155, Circle Round for Freedom.
Good morning. Welcome to the Olympia Unitarian Universalist Congregation. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Whitney Godby. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm a member of the worship arts team. I'm a middle-aged white woman with gray and brown hair, and I'm wearing a black and white striped dress. Leading worship with me today is our minister, Reverend Mary Geer, Troy Fisher, our music director, and participants in the Hope and Chaos book group, Jasper Lee, John Crutcher, and Leah Cossack. Our community envisions an interconnected world that is loving, just, and healthy. We commit to live out our mission to welcome and wonder, embrace and empower, bridge and become. We're a people of many genders, many racial identities, many economic levels, many sexual identities, and in all ways that we are different, we're united as one people. We are a faith community that believes diversity is sacred and that we're enriched by the gifts that each of us brings. We affirm that we are all growing and becoming and that we learn from each other. Thank you for your presence here, however you've arrived. Here are a few things to know about our service today with the hope that you'll feel welcome. We're streaming live on Zoom and YouTube, and the service is being recorded. For those here in the sanctuary, you can see creative subtitles on the screen in front and on Zoom for those online. We are a multi-generational community that welcomes people of all ages here in the sanctuary. Over here we have soft chairs and activities, and there is also nursery care and a storytime program in the classroom wing. Families, please be where you are most comfortable. There are also busy bags and a basket just outside the door for anyone ages 5 and older, so if your hands need to be busy during the service, please help yourself. We're grateful for the many hands that helped make worship happen this morning, both visible and less visible. Thank you to all who contribute in so many ways. After the service, everyone will have the chance to discuss reflection questions offered by Reverend Mary. For those online, we invite you to go into a breakout room for a virtual coffee chat. And for those here in person, please feel free to stay for coffee and fellowship in the Commons. Next Sunday, the very gifted guitarist and composer, Hiroya Tsukamoto, will return to OUUC for a concert at 2 p.m. He will premiere music from his latest album. Our fun team, that's FUUN, has created a scavenger hunt here at OUUC that you can engage with this month. You can look for scavenger hunt sheets in the Commons and return them to be entered in a prize drawing at the August 30th All OUUC picnic. So please join us for some fun. There are many things happening at OUUC. Check out the Tuesday electronic update or the website for the most up-to-date information. And now, as we enter into this time of worship, we invite you to open your heart and your mind to the possibility of transformation in this gathering of community. It is good to be together. This morning, we join Unitarian Universalist congregations around the world in lighting a chalice, the symbol of our faith tradition, with words adapted from the Book of Common Prayer. We give you thanks, Spirit of love, for the beauty of earth and sky and sea, for the richness of mountains, plains, and rivers, for the songs of birds and the loveliness of flowers. We offer praise for these good gifts and pray that we may safeguard them for our posterity. Grant that we may continue to grow in our grateful enjoyment of this abundant creation, now and forever. Amen.
Welcome, everyone. I'm Reverend Mary, and I use she, her pronouns. I am an older white woman with short silver and brown curly hair. I wear glasses. Today I have on black and my very favorite kitty stole made by the extremely talented Melanie Ransom. You can ask me about it later. Our opening for today is a poem that I wrote during the OUUC visit to the Wolf Haven Sanctuary in June. This came to me as I sat outside the large enclosure for two coyotes named Hope and Norman. They are coyotes who were both orphaned. They're not related to each other by blood, and they were the only ones of their siblings who survived. They now live at Wolf Haven. So the poem is titled Hope and Norman. I saw Hope today. She came out of nowhere, trotting across my line of sight, and then she was gone. Hope is elusive that way, here one moment and gone the next. Yet every once in a while, I see the twitch of an ear among the leaves, or a face peeking out between the laurel branches. Hope waiting to appear, never gone, never far away, always present for the noticing. Come, let us worship together.
And let's sing together again. As I looked out at you this morning, it was like some of you were saying to me in your mind and in your eyes, could we please sing around? And I have heard you, and I think we should do it. Number 1011 out of Singing the Journey, which is the Teal hymn book. It has a name. Return again. The lyrics will be up there. Let's do it, sing it together. Return again, return again, return to the home of your soul. Then we repeat that. Return again, return again, return to the home of your soul. And going on. Return to who you are, return to what you are, return to where you are, born and reborn again. Return to who you are, return to what you are, return to where you are, born and reborn again. So we'll start with this side of the congregation, and you'll sing the first two lines twice, then you move on to the next lines, and Katie, who's going to be up here singing for the offertory, she'll help you as I leave you, and I'll come over to this side of the congregation. And if you're in trouble, I'll throw you a lifeline. Just remember, you asked for it. Here we go. Ready, and Return again, return again, return to the home of your soul. Return again, return again, return to the home of your soul. Return to who you are, return to what you are, return to where you are, born and reborn again. Return to who you are, return to what you are, return to where you are, born and reborn again. Return to who you are, return to what you are, return to where you are, born and reborn again. Return to who you are, return to what you are, return to what you are, born and reborn again. Return to who you are, return to what you are, return to where you are, born and reborn again. Return to who you are, return to what you are, return to where you are, born and reborn again. Return to who you are, return to what you are, return to where you are, born and reborn again. Return to who you are, return to what you are, return to where you are, born and reborn again. Return again, return again, return to the home of your soul. Brilliant. Thank you.
The story that I have for you today is the story of hope and chaos. So every spring, Reverend Sarah and I set aside the better part of a day to think about and plan for the next program year, which starts in September. We did this in May of 2025, which is more than a year ago now. I remember that we each sat down. We had a laptop in front of each one of us, and we took a deep breath. Do you remember that time, the spring of 2025? The November before, we had experienced a very contentious election with an outcome that was disconcerting, frightening, lots of feelings around that election. And in January, we experienced an inauguration that began months of rapid dismantling of the social safety net and the democratic systems, all of the foundational things that we have come to count on. So Sarah and I wondered, what could we possibly offer that would help sustain us and our community? What would help nurture and fill our spirits? We had consistently been asked by you, the congregation, and our larger community, how do we hold on to hope at a time like this? And frankly, we were wondering the same thing ourselves. So we reflected on our role as a faith community, a role to help nurture the spiritual growth of each of us individually and all of us collectively, and a place to offer tools where we can survive and thrive in challenging times. We dreamed of crafting worship services, writing, and small group opportunities for people to explore ways to make sense of what is happening now and make meaning from this reality that we are in now. And how could we help create and build tools that will sustain us for the long road ahead? We dreamed of connection and transformation. Now, we Unitarian Universalists are a people of books, and so, of course, we each had some books that had been helpful to us and that we wanted to talk about. So we chose 2 books. The first one was Active Hope: How to Survive the Mess We're In with Unexpected Resilience and Creative Power by Joanna Macy and Chris Johnstone. Joanna Macy has been doing the work of environmental justice for decades. This book is the collection of her wisdom and her experience as she has watched us humans wrestle with the impact of our existence and the increasing demands on our planet. She wanted to offer a process for facing what is in front of us now and what will be our reality for the foreseeable future. She wanted to help us marshal our individual and collective resources for the road ahead. Macy offered this spiral as a way to make sense of what is happening and to move through the process of reconnection with ourselves, our community, and our earth. Carbon, could we have the spiral? Thank you. I appreciate it. So this is the spiral that begins with gratitude, just as we began our service today, lighting our chalice with gratitude. It moves through honoring our pain, our grief, then we see with new eyes, and then we go forth into the world. And we go around the spiral again and again as we deepen and grow. The second book was How to Survive in a Chaotic Climate: 10 Steps to Reconnect with Ourselves, Our Communities, and Our Planet by Laura Schmidt with Amy Lewis Rowe and Chelsea Rivera. These activists use Macy's model to build the Good Grief Network, a global network of people coming together to grieve as we face eco-distress and to look to build emotional resilience. Their primary message is, "You are not alone," which you might recognize if you've been in this community for a while. The Good Grief Network developed 10 concrete steps that we can use that are collected in this book. We would call them spiritual practices. The practices include inner work, like accepting the severity of the situation that we're in and recognizing our own biases. And it includes the community work, like grief and rest, beauty and joy, and showing up. Now, while both of these books focus on climate justice, we thought that the models and practices were useful for the multiple crises that are intersecting in our world right now that are our reality and will be into the future. So we bought a stack of books, and we began to make our dream real. We crafted worship services and forums. We wrote about these ideas and presented them. Many of you dipped into these books, and so we bought more books. And we started 2 book discussion groups, one for each of the books. We met on Thursday evenings once a month after the community dinner. There was no assigned reading, just dip into the book as you are able and willing, and make your way through, then bring to the group whatever it is that you are learning and feeling. People read, and they came, and they shared. And after a while, we combined the 2 groups into one, and we called it the Hope and Chaos Book Group. Reverend Sarah and I were honored to witness and be part of those discussions as participants shared so deeply of their life experience, their fears, their learning, and their hopes. What you will hear today is the reflections from several of those participants about their experience in the book group. We thought Hope and Chaos was a pretty good description of the times that we are in right now. But this story isn't ending. It is just beginning.
Each Sunday, we engage in the spiritual practices of both generosity and gratitude by joining together in service to our community and to something greater than ourselves. This is an opportunity to express our gratitude for the gifts that life has given us, the network of relationships in which we live, and for the presence of this community. We each have the power to share, and when we combine our gifts to create an offering, together, we're able to do more than any one of us can do alone. If you are new or visiting us, please know that you are a welcome guest, and there's no expectation to contribute. However, if you are moved to be part of our offering, what you share is accepted with gratitude. The offering collected here does two things. Half helps support the ongoing work of this congregation, which is also supported by your regular pledges. The other half of our offering goes to charity. Most is shared with an organization that serves our community in harmony with our Unitarian Universalist values, and a small portion goes to the OUUC Ministers Benevolence Fund to support the more urgent needs in our community. Our Share the Plate organization for July and August is the Puget Sound Estuarium, which was founded by OUUC member Diana Larson Mills and her husband Ken Guza in 2007. I understand that Diana has a table out in the Commons where you can learn more about the estuarium and talk to her about that after the service. The estuarium focuses on environmental learning, stewardship, and community engagement. Its science-based programs serve learners from pre-kindergarten through adulthood, helping people understand and protect the waters, shorelines, species, and estuaries of the South Sound. Our Share the Plate proceeds will enhance the estuarium's scholarship fund so that these learning opportunities can be accessible to all. We offer our thanks to all who give, including those who give to the offering electronically. You can find out about that in the order of service or on the OUUC website. May the offering now be generously given as it is gratefully received.
Live like you believe, live like you know, it's one sure way your life will grow. Listen to your gift of your peace when you live like you believe. There are things you have to let go, and you might find you're just holding on when you find yourself alone and unsure, questioning the choices you've made. Hold on to the learning. It will guide you along on your journey. Live like you believe, live like you know. It's one sure way your life will grow. Listen to your heart, search in your mind, and you'll find the strength that you need. Your joy, the gift of your peace, when you live like you believe.
Thank you so much for your generosity and all the gifts that you share. We walk the path of our ancestors when we gather, in times of worry and fear, and in times of celebration and joy. We come into community this morning, bringing all that's on our minds and in our hearts. And so let's open our hearts to the complexity of life as we place stones in the water of community. We'll hear a drum beat. I invite you to allow its resonance into your body. It's the heartbeat of life, the heartbeat of our community. Let's take a deep breath together. As we breathe in and out, feel the air as it enters and leaves your body. Feel the earth solid beneath us. Feel the warmth of connection. We send our love and care to all those who have been impacted by the wildfires this summer. If you are inclined, you can find information about how to offer financial and other support in the weekly actions that Reverend Sarah offers in the Tuesday update. As our climate changes and our planet warms, we know that the most vulnerable among us will be the most harmed. May we open our hearts and hands to do what we can for environmental justice. We open our circle wide now to invite those on Zoom to share from your heart by entering in the chat. Those of us in the sanctuary will be able to see your sharing on the screen, and it's shared with me and the pastoral care team. For those on site today, I invite you to come forward if there's something you'd like to bring into this community. You may place a stone in the water as you hold your sharing in your heart. Let's hear the heartbeat of our community as we open our hearts in love and care to all who share today. We'll place a stone in the water for all that has been shared online, shared from the heart. And one more stone placed in the water for all that we hold in our hearts and that remains unspoken. Together we hold all that has been shared. May you feel yourself witnessed. May you know that you are loved. Would you join me for a time of reflection and silence? I invite you to find a position that supports your ability to breathe. I'm going to invite us to take a breath together, and as we do, you might consider raising your shoulders as we breathe in and lowering your shoulders as we breathe out. Let's do that together. Breathe in. Breathe out. As you breathe in, may you feel the support that is all around you. And breathing out, may you release some of your worries and fears. Breathing in, may you feel the support of your breath. Breathing out, may you release any sense of separation from all that is. Breathing in, may you feel the solidness of Mother Earth beneath us. Breathing out, may you open yourself to joy, insight, and healing. Breathing in, may you feel safe, respected, and seen. Breathing out, may you feel loved. Let's be in silence together.
You do not carry this all alone. No, you do not carry this all alone. This is way too big for you to carry this all alone. So you do not carry this all alone. Let's do that again. You do not carry this all alone. You do not carry this all alone. This is way too big for you to carry this all alone. So you do not carry this all alone. We'll do it one more time. You can add as much harmony as you want. You do not carry this all alone. You do not carry this all alone. This is way too big for you to carry this all alone. So you do not carry this all
Good morning. My name is Leah. I use she, her pronouns. I'm a white woman with short dark hair and glasses. The first time I came to an OUC event was on Tuesday evening, November 5th, 2024, election night. I live alone and didn't want to be by myself that night. Eventually, I found myself sitting in a circle of about a dozen like-hearted people. They were quietly engaged, subdued by what was looking like the gravity of the day. The lights were dim in the sanctuary. Someone asked Reverend Mary to guide us in a meditation. With just a question or two to clarify, she led us through what felt like the perfect meditation for the occasion. I thought, this might be a community I could be a part of. I guess I had the right instinct about that evening because everything I was hearing right after the election was about community. Make sure you're part of a community. Be ready to give and receive whatever help may be needed. Last fall, after a service in which the book was mentioned, I started reading How to Live in a Chaotic Climate. When a reflection group formed, I joined. The first big aha was this: the world we find ourselves living in is not simply a complicated problem that, at least theoretically, could be sorted out and solved. Rather, it is a complex predicament. A complex predicament is an unruly, multidimensional, moving target that won't be solved, won't go away, and must constantly be dealt with. This distinction turned my world upside down. Through the reflections with the group, I found a way to see how much more potential there may be in a complex predicament than in a complicated problem. Rather than putting a lot of effort into trying to get my arms around a big complicated problem, I can instead put that effort into acceptance of the predicament. Not resignation, but an active acceptance that has the energy to look for ways to take constructive action while living within the predicament, to find ways to help construct a more wholesome world, not just return to business as usual before the regime change. When I was about 11, my mother, who taught typing and stenography in high school, sat me down every Saturday morning in front of her Underwood electric typewriter and tried to teach me to type. She would leave me working on typing exercises that didn't interest me much. What did capture my attention was something she had cut out of the newspaper and taped to the air conditioner in the window over her desk. This is what it said. The 5 most important words are, "How can I help you?" The 4 most important words are, "What do you think?" The 3 most important words are, "Please forgive me." The 2 most important words are, "Thank you." The 1 least important word is "I." Sitting on a pile of phone books every Saturday morning, staring at those words, contemplating them really, probably has a lot to do with who I grew up to be. I felt proud that my mom held the values reflected in those words and that I shared those values with her. I've never been a very good typist, but caring about my world, wanting to help in whatever ways I can, and finding the communities with whom I can do that, that's how I'm trying to live in this complex predicament, this chaotic climate that is 2026, and that's what's most important.
Let's sing together. You do not carry this all alone. You do not carry this all alone. This is way too big for you to carry this all alone. So you do not carry this all alone.
Hello, everybody. My name is John Crutcher. I'm a 71-year-old Caucasian male with a graying beard and hair, wearing black and a peach tie. I hate ties, so you know this is a special occasion. Transformation is a change more profound than a new pair of shoes. My first great transformation was falling into the trap of alcohol and drug abuse. Not all transformations are good. My second great transformation was when I began recovery from growing up in an alcoholic family and from drug and alcohol abuse. One of the rules in a dysfunctional family is don't talk, don't trust, don't feel. As I began recovery, I began to talk about my experience of that childhood trauma and began to heal while reliving the trauma in a group of trusted friends. I began to experience and express feelings I didn't even know I had up to that point. In particular, the feeling of shame. No more was stiff upper lip the rule in my life. I was transformed. My third great transformation came when recovery led me in 1994 to Seattle Antioch's Whole Systems Design Program, where I learned to understand how systems work and the wonderful complexities of living systems like frogs, people, environment, and communities. Can we talk? At Antioch, I was introduced to MIT professor Jay Forrester, one of the founders of general systems theory, and his work in modeling complex systems on computers. His most important work is his computer model of the planet, its resources and resilience and population, published in 1971 in the book World Dynamics. His model shows that we're in dire straits, facing a collapse of the environment and the human population in the near future. His work gives direction to stave off the collapse, but society chooses not to take the direction. And as we fall headlong into catastrophe, I despair. I despair for myself, my family, my community, and my planet. I love my planet. It's rare, though, to find someone willing to talk about it. To quote Jonathan Friedland of The Guardian, impending planetary catastrophe can induce a response less egregious, but scarcely less dangerous than outright denial, and that is distraction and displacement. Even when faced with incontrovertible evidence of the looming threat, people will find something else to talk about. I was also introduced at Antioch to one of the co-authors of our study book, Act of Hope, the book that was a foundational piece of our study book, Living in a Chaotic Climate, Joanna Macy, who left us last year at the age of 96. She was a Buddhist, a general systems theorist, and a renowned environmental activist. Joanna helps her followers to grieve the loss yet to come, calling it the Great Unraveling. The hope she writes of is not hope for a better future, but hope that we can have an effect through our actions today, whatever that effect may be. She makes it clear that we need not face the future alone, but can find hope, beauty, and joy through coming together in the common task ahead of us, the saving of the planet. When I heard the offer to have discussion groups on the two study books, I quickly joined. I wanted to be able to talk about the collapse and the way my knowledge of it haunts my days. I came into the group excited about the opportunity to have my truth acknowledged and accepted without judgment, and so it came to be. My fears lessened as I saw others struggle with theirs. My ability to cope increased as we took wisdom from the books and we shared our successes, our challenges, our fears, and our hopes. Joanna, as well as talking about the great unraveling, also talked about the great turning. The great turning. It's about the great changes that are coming our way. And with a happy outlook, one can envision a society with freedom and justice for all, where plants and animals are given the respect they deserve, and beautiful, miraculous life thrives in its infinite complexity. This is a pivotal moment in the planet's history. We don't know which way it's going to go, but like a birth, it's going to hurt like hell. And just like birth and the growth of a child, we don't know the outcome in the short term or the long term. There's pain and potential, and we just don't know. But people all over the planet are creating new ways to interact with each other and the world to try to bring their vision for the future into being. The hope they engender is one of process of being here and now in community with like-minded people and working to do what they feel is right. It's a Buddhist concept, you know, being here and now. That's where my hope lies. Let's talk about it. Let's feel about it. Let's trust one another.
For a couple of years, my route home from work included the curve of the 101 just before it splits into I-5. And as I'm sure many of you have experienced when driving in this area, that curve sometimes includes a breathtaking view of Mount Rainier. On my way home, if the mountain was out, the sun reflecting off of the bright glaciers had the power to transport me out of the ordinary routine of driving home. And whatever thoughts were running through my head about dinner prep or picking up my son from school or the work I'd left unfinished. And as the beauty of that view hit me, it was often accompanied by a corresponding pang of sadness because, of course, I was seeing it from my car on a highway full of other cars. And as I took in that mountain, it felt impossible to look at it and not think about the retreat of glaciers accelerated by human-caused climate change. From my driver's seat, my complicity in the harm to the environment felt very obvious. I brought these feelings to the book group when I had finished reading a chapter in How to Live in a Chaotic Climate about step 8, which is grieve the harm I have caused. And I was struggling with this question. What's the value of grieving the harm if we're going to continue to do something, like drive a car? When we apologize for harm we have done, aren't we supposed to change? I didn't go home feeling satisfied with an answer that evening. I remember being listened to with care and having my cognitive dissonance affirmed and acknowledged. But I still had some frustration with the idea of grieving the harm I have caused if I couldn't commit to ending that harm. A couple of months later at the book group, someone shared a story that led to a discussion about the difference between guilt and grief. And that's when I realized that I wasn't grieving the harm I have caused. I was stuck on guilt. Guilt is centered on me, what I can and can't do about a situation. And sometimes that's really helpful so that I know how to change. And sometimes I need to let my guilt melt into the grief that lies underneath it. Grief is a doorway that opens me to love and to looking at the mountain again with gratitude. And the choices that I have from feelings of grief, love, and gratitude are much more spacious than the binary of guilt, to drive or not to drive my car. I have found that guilt is often my reaction to the complex predicament that we're in. And grief is a practice. When I take time to grieve, I'm able to extend more grace to myself and to others. Having other people to do this practice with has led to deeper friendships and an unexpected sense of peace and joy, even when talking about the things that make me feel the most vulnerable.
Good morning. I'm Jasper Lee. I use she, her pronouns. I'm a tall, elder white woman with close-cropped graying hair and glasses. I was intrigued when this reflection group was offered as a way to help us deal with the complex predicament of today's environmental, social, and political climate. After months of my own frustration and despair, this seemed like a perfect antidote. I jumped at the chance to join in. The first meeting was held one Thursday evening here in the dimly lit sanctuary with 5 or 6 people in attendance. I don't know whether it was the unique blend of attendees, the facilitation, the reading, the intimate lighting, but the level of deep, honest sharing that happened that night was something I definitely wanted more of. And really, that's what kept me coming back. After the last presidential election, even before the inauguration, I felt clear that we would never politic our way out of this current situation. The only meaningful course of action, it seemed to me, was to build stronger communities by focusing on ways to take care of each other. There are now many established and emerging ways to do that, and many of us are getting involved in those projects. But underlying the ways of doing, I also felt the need to connect more deeply with others, those in the struggle to resist the current system and build a new one. I wanted to learn how to be together. I think that being requires a deeper level of connection than I've found in group settings, even here in this congregation. But what I found in this group was a willingness to be honest about our own struggles with how to be the person we want to be in the world we want to create. And I found a willingness to listen and bear witness to the struggles of others without trying to fix or minimize their experience. So whether it's racism, environmental degradation, gun violence, imperialism, greed, poverty, we need to be able to share our fears, our grief, our struggles, and our ideas, sometimes over and over and over in order to keep going. And ultimately, that's what this group was meant to do, help us to keep going in the face of it all. So since we're here to present our experience from this group to the greater congregation, I feel like we should leave you with something to take away, something to ponder, something to do. The 4 of us are presenting today because we've been the most consistent participants in the group. But there were others who passed through only once or maybe a few times. They each had things to contribute and were welcomed. I think the space that we held for both openness and loving attention provided the opportunity for everyone to practice those things. So if you're struggling the way that we found ourselves struggling, I would urge you to seek out or create safe spaces to share more deeply about those struggles. And not just with your close friends. This group started without us all having known each other previously. You can do that too. You can build a space that supports you and others to keep going and to do the things that need to be done to move us through this chaos and build a world of hope.
Let's sing together, We Shall Be Known. We shall be known by the company we keep, by the ones who circle round, attend these fires. We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap the seeds of change alive from deep within this earth. It is time now. It is time now that we fly. It is time we lead ourselves into the well. It is time now, and what a time to be alive. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. We shall be known by the company we keep, by the ones who circle around to tend these fires. We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap the seeds of change alive from deep within this earth. It is time now. It is time now that we fly. It is time we lead ourselves into the well. It is time now, and what a time to be alive. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in
We extinguish our chalice with the words of Joanna Macy. If the world is to be healed through human efforts, I am convinced it will be by ordinary people, people whose love of this life is greater than their fear. May you go with joy, go with commitment, go with love.
scouts up there to clean up the campground.
A great big